Welcome, Lean Maniacs. I just want to do a quick little video on standardization. I know that most of you know that we're using standards so that we can make sure that everyone's doing a task or a process exactly the same way. I think it was Deming that said variation is the enemy of quality. So that's one of the reasons why we want to do a standard, but it goes much deeper than that. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why people put off making standards, because they don't realize the massive, massive impact that you can have on a daily basis to your entire organization. So, obviously, one of the reasons we want to make a standard is so that we have one way of doing a process and we all follow it that way. The other reason we want to do a standard is because we want people, when we train them, typically we'll grab someone, take them out in maybe it's the shop or the hidden factory. We'll take them out, we'll run through the process with them. You know what? Just got a call. I'm really busy. I'll be back in a few minutes. 2 hours goes by. I come back. This poor person has been making defects. They're doing their best. The people around them are getting upset because they're having to deal with all the defects. They're all also asking, why wasn't that person trained properly? Just think about, what was that person's day like at the end of the day. This is their first day at your company and things didn't go very well. So now we're going to take someone who maybe started up here, who was super excited and really liked this company, who is now down here by the end of the day, by the end of the first day. So we're really training that person on how well we operate and how well we lead. So if I'm training you off the top of my head, maybe I stay there the whole time, you're probably getting, I don't know, 30, 50% of what I can think of off the top of my head when I'm training you. Whereas if I had a SOP, so I'll just show you here, we're going to go into an SOP. Let's just take I'll take my generator one. So here is my generator SOP. I could easily forget these 2 or 3 steps here when I'm just explaining it to you. So the other really important part about an SOP is in order of the steps, I'm going to be training you exactly how we're supposed to be doing this process. So I might remember one way or an old way that we used to do it, or I skipped some steps. The other power of a standard is I'm training you precisely how we want people to follow this every single time. The steps are numbered. We can tell exactly how we want to do this. If someone makes a change, let's say we want to make a change to this one, we edit it, and then I want to go in and drag a step over here. Super, super easy to update this. You just click and drag it, we renumber it. So there's no excuse not to do the right thing. There's no excuse not to create a standard when you realize you don't have one. It's super easy to do it from your phone or on your computer. You're just uploading images, editing them quickly, typing in your text step by step. The other really cool thing is you can say, hey, I want you to watch a video at this point, and we will create the QR code for you. So I like to use the video for technique. Maybe I'm saying at this point, you're going to set up your area, you're going to start doing this. And then at this point, maybe I'm going to teach you how to sand something. Wow, there's an interesting topic. We put the new guy in sanding. If it's a woodworking shop, we can almost guarantee the new guy's going into sanding, and he's probably not going to get great training. But the video will show you exactly how I want you to sand this, how I want you to knock off the edges, how I want you to, circular motion or wide sweeping, whatever it is. It's all going to be there, a combination of step-by-step and video. So we have a standard. So we've all agreed on one way to do it. That's the first step. That's going to help you with quality. Training someone on the standard, that's the second thing. That's really going to help you with quality, and that's really going to help you with morale. Now, the next part of this is we've improved our quality, we're improving our training, we're improving our morale. So we're probably having a shorter lead time when we're training people in a new position. The next thing is, who needs to be trained on what? So as we're doing our training on these SOPs, we want to make sure that we're updating our training matrix. For instance, if I go in here and I just trained this person here, 75%, now I can see visually that that person has been trained 75%. So visually, we have a record of who's been trained on what. This helps me understand where my key areas to focus are, where my big critical gaps are. That helps me prioritize my training. Not only am I understanding who I need to train on what activity, I'm prioritizing my training based on how critical it is. Obviously this one's critical. This one's critical. I can decide based on the actual task who needs to be trained next. And then I can make sure that I have an SOP first. Then I train them on the SOP. That's what's driving excellence in your company. I just want to reiterate that the power of SOPs is massive. We tend to think, oh, I got to create an SOP and just make sure I document it and stuff it away somewhere. I don't want you to stuff it away somewhere. I want you to go print off that barcode and put that at the point of use so someone can scan this and launch the SOP. That's the whole point. So that generator one that I have here, I actually printed this off. It's on my generator so that my neighbor can come by when I'm not here and troubleshoot my generator. That's how we use these QR codes at the point of use. We're really driving down the questions, driving down the interruptions. It's super easy to hold people accountable to a standard when you have one. If you don't have a standard, you're not holding people accountable to anything. You're really just nagging, probably arguing, probably pushing a lot and getting a lot of defensive remarks. That all goes away when you have a standard. The power of standards is much more than we give it credit for. So please do the right thing. You are going to get massive payback if you focus on standardization, and it's super easy. Where do you start? As soon as you discover you don't have a standard for something, create one. During improvement time, if you can't think of an improvement to make to a process, make a standard. If you have a quality defect, ask yourself if you had a standard. If you didn't, create one. That's a great way to prioritize where you're creating standards. Remember, standardization is the basis of all improvement.